Okay, guys. So, what we're going to do this week is we're going to work on selections and making some selections and show you how cool they are and what you can do once you've got something selected. So we got this student work here that is a overexposed piece that she turned in, and we're going to use it as a demo. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to the lasso tool up here. Now you can use the lasso tool, or for this thing we're going to do right now, you can come down to the magnetic lasso tool, which is the very bottom one. Click that, and then if you just tap with if you just left click, you can come through here, and every time you want to make a point, you left click to make a little anchor point. But basically, you go around the entire thing, and since this is a high contrast area, it does it really well, this magnetic lasso tool. So once you get to the end, it makes a little circle that you can see, and then if you tap the circle and complete it, it'll make little marching ants around it. Once you've got that done, if you hit Command J, you can put that star on its own layer. So we'll hit Command J, and you'll look and see that now we have this star on this other layer. And if we go to our Move tool up here, we can pull that off and move it around, and now we have another star, which is super awesome, right? So let's come down to this layer 1 and call it star by double clicking on it, and now this is a star, and here we go. So what we're going to do with this star is we're going to give it a freaking star trail. Okay, we're going to give it a sense of movement. So in order to do that, you notice if we blur the entire thing, it won't look like it's moving. So I'm going to blur like the back half of it and give it like a trail. So to do that, let's go back to our lasso tool up here. Lasso. Come down here and just select like if you feather it 10 pixels like I've got it up here, if you look right up here in the top box, it says 10 pixels. So if you don't have 10, type 10 in there. Come down here with your lasso tool and just select like the back half of this dude. All right, so we got the back half selected. What we're going to do now is we're going to blur it. So if you go up to Filter, Blur, and then Motion Blur, click on that, and you'll see it blurs out, right? So what you want to do is you sort of want to give it a blur the way you want it to go, right? So we're gonna blur it like this way. So it's going to be shooting down to the moon like that. So the distance will show you about how far it's blurring out. So I'm gonna blur it about 291, man. I'm gonna blur it out quite a bit like that. Right, that looks better. So I'm gonna blur it like about like this: 291 pixels, angle 24, dialed in. Okay, and there it is. Now that looks okay, but I think I need it longer. And so once you have something selected, you guys, if you just hit Command T, you can transform just that piece. So I hit Command T, and now there's my transform box. And now I'm just gonna pull this like this, and stretch the crap out of it, and make it look really long and cool like that. Now you'll notice that I pulled it off the star. So there's a way to fix that, right? So if we just hit right click or control click, you can come down here to warp. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull this back. We're going to warp this back by pulling this warp tool and bringing this back down in touch with its little star friend right there. Right, just get out of my way, dude. I can't see. Shit, like that. So, like that, right? If we hit enter after we've warped it, and now we're going to unselect this. Unselecting this, you could either hit Command D and it'll unselect it, or you can just take the lasso tool and tap anywhere like that and it'll unselect it. Now you see my star? Now it's got some movement. I totally like that. So there's my star with movement, and I think that looks pretty cool. Once we've got this whole star with movement on our own layer down here, you'll see that. You can hit Command T, and then we can rotate that star and move it around where we want. I'm going to rotate it. It's going to hit the moon in the face. Right, just come out of there a little bit. Right? And then what's really cool about this too is we can use perspective. There's lots of tools with the transform tool, right, inside of it. So if you hit control and click, you'll see there's all kinds of tools inside here. We used warp, but now let's use perspective a little bit and see how that works. So perspective, I like perspective, dude. That's pretty bitchin'. I don't like it that way. I like it pulled down like that. And I like this frickin' trail pulled out like big. Bang. Enter. Go back to the move tool, and there we go. Let's rotate it a little bit more. Command T, and rotate that just a touch. Put it out here. I'm not gonna hit it. I'm not gonna have it hit the moon in the face anymore. We're gonna shoot over its head. I feel like that's a little nicer. Nah, shit, we'll put it out here. It's going to hit the moon. Okay. So there's our, no, shit, there. There's our shooting star. It's up at the top. Now what we're going to do is this. We're going to make the moon blush, right? So again, we're going to make a selection. So we're going to type on the background down here, make sure we're on the background, because the star is just the star. There's no other information there. You can see the transparent pixels. So we'll go to the background. Once we're on the background, we're going to the lasso tool. We're still feathered 10 pixels. And we're going to come down here, we're going to draw a circle right where we think blush should be on the moon. Hello, blush. Right there. So I'm going to make his cheek blush right there. So what we're going to do is once we have this selected, we'll come down here to our adjustments, which are 1, 2, 3. The fourth little thing over looks like a half circle thing. Click on that and go to hue saturation. And then with our hue, we're just going to push the hue a little bit of that. Aw, look at that moon blush. See that? So our moon's blushing. Now look, you can go either way. You can go all kinds of colors. But I would prefer if you guys, just for this assignment, just make it a little bit pink like that, right? Cool. Moon blushing, shooting star. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn this star blue. Okay? So we're going to go to our background, because that's where that star is. It's on the background. And we're going to use our magnetic lasso tool again. Come down here, magnetic lasso tool. We're going to highlight this star by doing the same stuff we did before, clicking around, right? Left clicking and anchoring it together. Once we have it together at the very end, we're going to click, and we got that star highlighted. What are we going to do? Turn it blue. So we're going to come down here to our adjustments, click on it, go up to hue saturation, select that, and then we're going to pull this way until that star turns blue, dude. Like that. Bang, baby. Cool. That's it. So you guys should have a shooting star with motion blur, with a long trail that you've done. You should have the moon blush, and you should have a blue star right here. Okay. Once you're done, flatten this whole thing. Command Shift E, flatten it, and save it as MADT 206 underscore star. Fancy that. Underscore your last name, and then save it as a JPEG and upload it to Dropbox. Okay. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in class lecture on Monday. Okay. Bye.